guys. Welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole, the podcast. It is Friday nights at midnight on Instagram, although I am starting a little bit early. Just because it's because like it, I don't know. I figure that maybe people might actually come on earlier. Hey, hi, Data Stefan too. Nice to see you here. Welcome to Not My Rabbit Hole, the podcast. This show today is titled, what did I title it? Who wants to be a millionaire? Who wants to get $1 million or a Klondike bar? Who wants $1 million or a Klondike bar? What did I write? Yeah. Who wants $1 million or a Klondike bar? Now, why am I thinking that right now? Well, I don't know if you've heard this. You probably have heard this because I figure that most people that I'm friends with on Instagram or on social media are smart, and you probably already know this. But if you don't, you're probably still intelligent. I don't mean to be insulting, but Ohio is giving $1 million to get the jab. All right, $1 million. And I'm thinking, wow, like all those times in the past when I got, shots of vaccinations and I just got a freaking sucker, I mean, first it was there was one state or one city that was giving away joints. You can get a couple of joints if you get the jab. I guess maybe if you get, 2 jabs, then you would have 4 joints, right? I thought it was kind of weird then that it was okay to give a class 1 drug away for free just to get an injection. Now, please don't think that I'm not being anti it. All right, I'm just talking about these things taking place. I'm just thinking about like $1 million. They gave away 5 people who got the jab in Ohio had the chance to win $1 million. And I'm thinking, wow, why would they give $1 million away just to get a, inoculation? Why? I mean, a vaccination. Why would they give $1 million away for that? Is it that bad? Like, first, well, the joints didn't work. Why don't we just okay, well, what about some Krispy Kremes? All right, because there's those pictures of people who got it and they're sitting in their car going, I got a Krispy Kreme while I got the jab. And you're like, way to go. At least you got something. I guess it goes back to that, ooh, I got a boo-boo, and now I get a reward when you were a little kid. Like, oh, does it hurt? Am I going to get a reward for it? $1 million, though. What would you do for $1 million? Would you? I mean, and why? Like, why do they have to give people? Why is that an incentive? It, like, to me, I'm like, well, you can't get people to do it, that you have to give them $1 million for it. Is that it? It blew me away. It was just like, it just feels too desperate for me. Like, well, we want you to trust everything's fine, everything's okay, but, we're still going to give you $1 million, well, if you just do it, just sign on the line. What would you do for $1 million? Just go ahead and chop my arm off. I don't need it. Remember that one movie with Demi Moore in it and Woody Harrelson, and it was about her sleeping with the Robert Redford character for $1 million. Would you give up your wife for $1 million? We thought that was a big deal. $1 million, $1 million for the jab. Can I include a hooker in there? That's going to go down in history. It's definitely going to go down in history. All right, well, I'm still talking here. I don't know if Data Stefan 2 is still here, but I'm going to give you a little wave anyways for checking in. So I'm just going to keep going. All right, so what else is going on? Well, I watched a few movies recently. One is was called the Mandela effect. And I don't know if you have ever seen that film before, or if you even knew that it was a movie, but it's on Amazon Prime. And the Mandela effect is a conspiracy theory that some of the things that we know from our past and past culture, and we think that it's a certain way. For example, there's the Bearstein Bears, and they were spelled a certain way, or people thought that they were spelled a certain way, but then all of a sudden, later on, they realized that it wasn't, that it's different. So, okay, you probably know this too, but just in case you don't know, or if you've never heard about the Mandela effect. And again, the Mandela effect falls into the conspiracy category, but it's kind of weird when you think about it, because the Disney movie, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, Who's the Fairest of Them All? That's how I remember it. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? And some people, and it's not that. If you look up on the internet, it's Magic Mirror on the Wall, Who's the Fairest of Them All? I thought Sex in the City was Sex in the City. It's actually Sex and the City. And when people see these things, this is a real phenomenon. They actually, people freaked out on it. And this is a real thing that happened, and then they actually did a movie about it. Now, the reason why it's called the Mandela effect is because Nelson Mandela, a lot of people believe that Nelson Mandela died back in the 80s. I think it might have been like the late 80s, like something like 1987 or something like that. I have to be honest with you. I am one of those people that thought Nelson Mandela was dead. I really did. I thought I saw a news story that he died in prison. I am one of those people that remember him as dying. And I think it was like until a while later, there was that quote. There's a famous Nelson Mandela quote, but I don't even think it's really from Nelson Mandela. And then Marianne Williamson ripped it off. And it's something like, why think small? You're really great. Whatever. You know what? I should look it up. Let me famous Nelson Mandela quote. Hold on. And when I, read it or whatever, then somebody said he was still alive. And I was like, really? And so I definitely am one of those people that thought Nelson Mandela was dead. And then all of a sudden, we realize that he's alive. And so that's why they call it the Nelson Mandela effect. All right. So, now this has been, I've even done a show about this before. Let me see if I can find the Nelson Mandela thing. Mandela effect. All right, so if you are turning in, I don't know, even if Dada Stefan 2, if this is the first time that you're actually listening to my podcast, it's really weird. This is what I find about Instagram. Is if I do a picture, it seems like, and I go, I'm going to be on at 12 midnight. Maybe nobody's here right now because I did an Instagram where I said, Tere Joyce at midnight or Fridays at midnight at Instagram at Tere Joyce. And this is where I record my podcast first, just so you know, right? And then I take the audio of this and I put it up on Anchor and Spotify. And then I take this footage and I also upload it to Not My Rabbit Hole on YouTube. And then I also do a preview of this on my Tere Joyce Investigates YouTube channel. So I kind of spread footage and audio on different platforms. I figure that's the best way to go, especially since, there's so much censorship right now. You don't know what platform you're going to stay up on. So I figure the more you do, the better. And the more that you talk to different people in different ways, the more whatever you're saying gets out there. That's just, really do the math. Okay, so look, Nelson Mandela quotes. Okay, famous. This is one that got to come up first. 45 Nelson Mandela quotes, "A winner is a dreamer who never gives up." Top 45. Okay, so Nelson Mandela. Oh, let me keep doing that right there. Oh, this is not giving me. Okay, here we go. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. That's a nice one. A winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Education is most, okay, here it is. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedoms of others. I like that one. Oh, I don't know. I bet I can't find the quote that I'm thinking of. But anyway, a lot of people believe that Nelson Mandela died at one point, and then some people, think that he died at a later time because he's died recently, and not recently, but I think he lived to be in 2000 or something, right? I'm totally, you know what? It's like the Mandela effect upon the Mandela effect. Like, when did he die? Really? Has he? Wouldn't it be weird if he was like alive again? Oh, hey! Hi, Pavanati. Good. Wow. I know who you are. You're in Brazil, aren't you? Yeah, it's good to see you here. Welcome to my podcast. I was talking about the Mandela effect, and I think you know what that is, where people thought that Nelson Mandela died in the 80s, and then he lived on, and then of course he died again, but he's dead, right? Nelson Mandela died, right? I'm so confused. Hey, yeah, hi. And then I guess there's another person here too. I should put my glasses on. You know what's hard about Instagram is that it's hard to see the fine print when you're filming from your phone. Yeah, so there's a movie that came out. About, Pranny Campbell, 1124. Thank you for joining. Yeah, there's a movie that came out called The Mandela Effect on Amazon Prime. And because it was a conspiracy theory first, or it fell into the conspiracy world, because a lot of people they try to explain this. They go, well, the reason why you think that, let's say, for example, the Disney, Mirror, Mirror on the Wall, who's the fairest of them all? Or, Luke, I am your father. And it's really something different. It's, it's not how we thought it was. Like, it's not Mirror, Mirror on the Wall. It's Magic Mirror on the Wall. And it's not Sex in the City. It's Sex and the City. And there's all these things that people started to get together and go, wait a second, I remember this phrase differently. And now it's something else, right? Okay, so now somebody took that concept and made a feature film out of it, and it's on Amazon Prime, and it's called The Mandela Effect. And it's kind of interesting because it goes through different theories. Like, it goes through the string theory. Okay, first of all, I'll give you the plot without giving it completely away. But what happens is that there's a man, and he has a wife, and then his daughter dies, and he's a grieving father, and then he starts to discover about the Mandela effect, and he's like, wait, what's going on here? Now, this guy in the film is a computer coder. So, the theory behind the movie basically is that there's a huge supercomputer that how it works. Okay, let me explain this. How it works. All right. They talk about how our reality is based on a collective memory. That whatever people collectively remember or at one time actually changes the permeability of what's real and not real. All right, that's the theory that comes in the movie. And then it gets behind where it's a supercomputer that is data collecting all of us. And so if the computer's collecting it, and then we're all our consciousness is running through the computer, because like now, I guess because we're communicating this way, or we're posting what we're posting or whatever, that is making things change and making history change, like as if even history or the past isn't even permanent. And of course, it doesn't really mention CERN, because a lot of people think that CERN, I think it does mention CERN a little bit in the movie. But so what happens is that the character, the dad with the grieving daughter, goes into one of the supercomputers and actually codes his daughter living. And then that just messes everything up, and then the movie goes from there. So I don't know, lately some of my podcasts have been about films that I'm watching, or films that are apocalyptic, or series that are on television that have an apocalyptic theme to it. Because in many ways, we as people are beginning to feel like we're living in apocalyptic times. I don't know about my friend in Brazil, but we here in the United States have got notification from the White House, or from everybody, that those who have had 2 vaccinations no longer have to wear a mask anymore when you go, I guess, like in certain places or gatherings, and you can, I don't know, I think we might even be able to hug each other or have more interaction if you've had at least 2 jabs. If you haven't, then you are required to still wear your mask, which in a way is kind of a way of saying, I don't know, I almost feel like it almost puts you on the spot, because what if you aren't a person who got a vaccination? I mean, how are they going to figure that out right now? Like we don't have passes, and I mean, I know that they're talking about bracelets that you can wear, that you can go, I got it or I don't got it, but like right now, like for example, if I wanted to go to a concert and I didn't have a vaccination, and then everybody else at the concert is starting to mingle without having their mask on, and somebody didn't have a mask, I mean, it didn't have a shot, but said, oh, screw it, I'm going anyways. How do they know? How do you know right now if anybody's had their full vaccinations or not, and whether or not it's okay to wear a mask or not wear a mask? Like, it's all muddled at the moment. So it's kind of interesting. Earlier in this broadcast, all right, when I started, before anybody was really paying attention, I was talking about, what would you do for $1 million or a Klondike bar? Because now, there are 5 people in Ohio that have the chance to win $1 million just for getting the jab. Or now there are students that can have a huge education by, getting the jab. So, I don't know. I mean, I guess getting like the simple sucker doesn't work anymore. So I talked about that in the beginning, but I'm kind of like recapping it again. And again, I'm just reminding you guys, if you're coming here late or not late or whenever, I usually say that I start at midnight, but tonight I decided to start a little bit early. I guess I shouldn't advertise myself as starting at midnight and then not really start at midnight, right? So that's not really good. But my podcast does air every Friday night on Anchor at midnight. It's scheduled. So the podcast that I did before this last week is now airing over there now while I'm recording this one tonight. So this one will go on next week's podcast. Something else, one more movie, one more series, I guess, because I have nothing better to do but watch Netflix still. I mean, I'm not working still. I don't know about you guys. Before, most of my life I've worked as an entertainer, right? Comedian, touring on the road. There's some touring starting to happen now. There's some comedians that I'm seeing that they're showing, oh, I'm playing at such and such club. I like to play at a club again. I'm kind of curious about how that's going to be. Like I guess like they're gonna still, if within the comedy club or on stage, they're gonna have to still have people sitting apart from each other in some ways, and I guess if there's less people that they can have seated in the comedy club, you might not hear the laughter as much when it's a packed house, right? So that'll be interesting to see. If you choose not to get the jab, if you're one of those people that just don't aren't for it. I have a feeling what's going to happen is that if you don't get one, you're just going to get more and more socially ostracized by a group of people, because it feels like that is the setup. It's like when you go on social media, it's always like when you want to update your profile, it's like, do you want to have a COVID profile and announce that you've been vaccinated? And so you can choose to let everybody know, like, hey, I voted, I did this. It's like giving the thumbs up that you're one of the ones that did it. And then so what I'm saying? It's like, that is all social conditioning. That is all, like every time we get onto our Instagram or we look at any of our devices, it's all telling us about where we can go get a vaccination, what to do, blah 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 blah. Any information, it's the top foremost thing that anybody's talking about right now. And again, I'm not here to say not to do it or to do it. I'm just letting you know my observations. I guess the reason why I wanted to talk about the fact that they're giving $1 million away just to get a jab, just to get yourself to be prevented. Like, it's almost like, it almost seems desperate to me. And then if something seems desperate to me, then you're like, well, what's wrong with it? Like, are there not enough people doing it? And so that's why, we're it's like, well, let me give you just a little, give you a little piece of candy, like, come on, little girl, come over here, like trying to seduce you into taking, like, just a little bit of sugar makes the medicine go down, right? And like I said before, is like they started with Krispy Kremes and here, get your jab and get your free box of Krispy Kremes. Yeah, go and have a donut. Go out and eat something that has absolutely no nutrition. While we do something medicinally to you. And then it was like, oh no, not Krispy Kreme. Let's go with joints. Let's go with marijuana. Something that's a class 1 drug. That'll incite people to come here. And then now we have, like, I'll give you $1 million. I'll give you $1 million if you'll just do this. If you'll just do it. All right, I gotta calm down. Hey, happy Friday. Actually, I'm having a little bit of Chardonnay here. Okay, so another series that I watched was on Netflix, and it's called The Serpent. I can't even remember my stuff now. Yeah, I believe it's a serpent. Let me just double check. It's midnight. We made it to midnight. Yay. Happy midnight, guys. It's actually, we started a new day. So good morning. Trending now. Oh, of course it's not trending anymore. But I believe it was called The Serpent. Anyways, it was based on a true story, and it's about these people that were out in like Thailand and everything, and this guy was like a half breed, half Asian, half Thai, French guy. It was during the hippie times, and all these hippies would get seduced into going to Thailand or whatever, and so they would drug them and take their money and take their passports and do all these things based on a true story. Really frightening. Oh, here it is. Yeah, The Serpent on Netflix. The Serpent. See? creep me out, though, to think that, you could be traveling and just meeting people and doing whatever and, being invited to a party and being innocent. And then all of a sudden, you find people that just are luring you in to drug you and take your identity. And I guess it happens. And it happened for like years. This guy was like a master. I mean, he pretended to be a certain person and then wasn't that person and was married to some lady and then told another person they were. I mean, it was just bizarre, but it's a good series. Man, I'm not really doing really good on that. Anyways, I guess mainly this particular podcast was about like what would you do for $1 million? I'm telling you, this is how I feel about it. See, I'm almost afraid to talk about this topic because it's like if you talk about it and you talk about it in a negative way, or if you say that it's not okay, or you say that it's dangerous, or you say this or that, especially on certain types of media. I mean, it's almost like we have to just say, somebody else joins. What's more metal joined? Hi. I'm going to give you a wave. You saved... Hold on, you're saying something to me. I waved. Oh, no, it's just telling me I waved at you. That's bizarre. Well, hey, welcome. This is my podcast, and I've been talking about, like, the $1 million jab. That Ohio's giving $1 million to get to, like, 5 people can win $1 million for getting a jab, or you can get an amazing education when you grow up. And I just thought, would you do it? Like, would you... why do they have to do it? That's my one question. It's like, oh my God, we're going to give you $1 million. Do it for $1 million. We're giving you $1 million. Just do it. It trips me out. It's just like, I've never seen anything like that before. Like just giving people $1 million because you're going to go get a flu shot. It's bizarre to me. It's like, I just feel like, what's wrong with it? Like, you're giving me $1 million. Why? What's wrong with it? No, it's not. There's nothing wrong with it. You're a conspiracy theorist. Just shut up. But you want to give me $1 million for it? Like, I can go into it's like a lottery, like I might. Oh, well. I don't think I'd do it. I wouldn't even do it for $1 million. I guess I'm just going to be honest. I guess I'm just going to close my show here. Like, I'm not doing it for $1 million. I'm not going to be a hooker for $1 million, and I'm not getting the jab for $1 million. I'm not getting the jab for a joint, and I like joints. And I'm definitely not getting it for Krispy Kreme. All right. Good night, you guys. Thanks for listening. I'll see you next time.